Well, Derek Fisher scored the game-winning run, the 10th inning of that wild Game 5 that ended 13-12 Astros, and I don't probably has not come down completely off the high of winning the World Series, but he joins us here on Big Board Sports on 104.5, the Team ESPN Radio. Derek Fisher, Roger Weiland, and Chris Honorado in Tri-City Valley Cat Country. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing great, man. How are you guys?
We're fantastic. Has it all sunk in yet about what this season was and what the end result was, which is the World Series championship?
I think of late, yeah. I think right away when we went back to Houston and after the parade and everything that followed, I would say probably not. But now that I'm back home here in PA for a little bit with my family, just being able to let it soak in a little bit, I think it's starting to become a little bit more of a reality now.
Well, I know one thing, Derek, and one of the reasons why we have you on is because a lot of people in the Capital Region, we're Yankees, we're Mets, we're Red Sox, so we really didn't have that big of a rooting interest. The regional teams of interest weren't there. But so many people, Derek, were rooting for the Astros because of the connection to the Valley Cats, and I'm sure you remember those days not that many years ago.
Oh, dude, yeah, man. I was there not long ago. I was drafted in 2014 and spent a lot of my time there in my first short season. And that place is always going to hold a special place in a lot of our hearts with how they treat us and the fun that we have while we're there. And rightfully so, man. That's a place that we're not going to forget, and it's great that they're able to follow us all the way through.
And Derek was a New York Penn League All-Star during his time here with the Tri-City Valley Cats as well. Raj, you mentioned he scored the game-winning run in Game 5, a game that was won by a fellow former Valley Cat in Joe Musgrove. Derek, when you're at second base and Bregman hits the line drive to left and you're getting the wave home, give me some sort of sense of what's going through a base runner's mind, knowing that the winning run is on your cleats in a World Series game at home where I'm guessing the crowd is going crazy. What are you thinking? Are you hearing the fans? Take me through some of that.
I mean, I would say a lot of it is just understanding kind of the situation that, when am I going to get into the game? And we were talking about it in the dugout a little bit when McCann was on first base, and then, thankfully when he got to second, when I went out to run for him, it was just trying to figure out the situation. Obviously, the outs where the outfielders are, where the infielders are playing, but I mean, dude, there was 2 outs. It was so late in the game. I mean, I know my place, and if a ball hits the outfield grass, I got to score.
and in fact, you did. Let me ask you this question. At the beginning of the season with this team, was there a feel that this could be this kind of year?
Yeah, so with me being my first year and my rookie year, there's not much that I can compare it to. And but that's where these, the veteran guys kind of stepped in and were able to tell us at the right times to just, understand that, look, man, like this, there's no team like this, we would have team meetings just with, some of the veteran guys and they would just say, like, don't take this for granted because, I've played this game for a long time and I've never experienced anything like this. And, anybody just sitting in that same room as them, I mean, when Carlos Beltran says something like that, or Brian McCann, amongst many others, I mean, that alone is just like, this guy's right. So, when those kind of guys say those things, it's easy for anybody to just look at them and understand where they're coming from and just, understand that this could be the only time that we could ever do this. So let's, make the most of it.
And then I remember the trading deadline. It wasn't a lot happening, right? And what's Houston doing here? They need it. And then all of a sudden Verlander and boy, what an addition he was, right? What did that mean how I'm sure you guys were pumped when you heard, hey, we're getting Verlander for the stretch run.
Yeah, I think regardless, a lot of us were happy of the team that we had, but rightfully so, man. When you have a guy like that walk through your doors, obviously the energy is going to change a little bit when you have arguably one of the best of our generation on your team now. So no, with him being in our clubhouse, he fit in so well, and Again, a lot of us, he took questions, he fielded questions. He was a lot of fun, man. He helped a lot of us off the field, and obviously his work on the field speaks for itself. But he was a huge addition, and he's one of the best. Anybody would want somebody like that.
World Series champion, outfielder for the Houston Astros, Derek Fisher, with us here on Big Board Sports 104.5 The Team, ESPN Radio. Derek, I'm kind of an old school baseball fan. I love a really good pitcher's duel. So like games 1 and 6 were great. You played in that wild game 5. From a player's perspective, would you rather be part of a 13-12 kind of game or a 3-1, which games 1 and 6 ended?
I would say at any point they feel the exact same, because for some reason it feels as if in playoff baseball anything can happen. And 3-1, or if you're up 11-7, you feel as if it's not enough. And at one point, 11-7 for us was not enough. Right. And that was Game 5 at home in Houston, and that was something that a lot of us were able to understand, is that anything can happen in playoff baseball. So, I would say you definitely have the same feeling, no matter what, until that 27th out's made.
We're talking with Derek Fisher, 24 years old, Lebanon, Pennsylvania, drafted first round of the Astros in 2014, hit a home run in his first career major league hit bat this summer, and then going back to the Cats, 303 in 41 games with Tri-City in 2014. What are some of the memories you take away from the Valley Cats? Because I always say it, everyone gathers here in the middle of June, and you're really not sure what kind of team you're going to have. And it's always hard. How many of these players are going to progress? And it's so hard. It's such a grind to get where you are. But you start in the Valley Cats. It's like, all right, what's going to happen next? But relive some of those days for us.
I think a big thing, and a question that you get a lot is that you have every team that you play on all the way through the minor leagues, it seems as if you're playing with the same people, because everybody continues to move. And then when you get to the big leagues in Houston, you look around and there's a lot of people that I've played in the minor leagues with, in a lot, man. Me and Joe Musgrove came all the way up through, and we've become great friends because of it. No, I think a big thing is just to show the organization, with the Houston Astros, is how they handle us, and they handle us in a great way. All of us move pretty fast, and we win, and that's the biggest thing, is just getting used to winning and understanding that it's a culture. And coming from the University of Virginia, we did the same thing. So I think I've been really lucky playing for organizations and playing for teams and having teammates that are used to winning and won't take anything else.
All right, Derek, I'm digging deep into the recesses of your memory here, but I know you're at the ballpark a lot, you're on the road a lot, but when you were with the Valley Cats, give me a spot you used to hang out or like to go eat or something like that kind of has stuck with you.
Oh, you threw me on the spot, but I drew a blank. What's the little mini mart that has the sandwiches, the sub sandwiches, that's right by the park?
Oh, you got to go. That's now I'm drawing a blank too, right by Hudson Valley. Hang on a second. Oh, Deli and Brew.
Deli and
Our producer
Brew.
Brian just got that to us. Yeah, Deli and Brew.
Okay.
Yeah, they make monster subs, man. Cool.
Yes, I went there every single day before I went to the park. Me amongst probably 90% of the team would stop there. No, that was definitely a staple to playing with the Valley Cats, and if it's not that way anymore, it needs to be. But I would honestly probably say that it's never going to change. That place was awesome.
And Derek, did you know when you were over at the Joe, the Valley Cats, did you ever think? I know what your goal was, and here you are, not that many years later, winning a World Series.
It's a dream come true. It's something that I've always pushed for my entire life, playing the big leagues, and to have it happen this year was a shock. And then obviously at the end of the year, everything that happened was something that I never thought could have possibly happened. Better yet, my first year, and then on top of it all being, 24, I think it was something that just shows everyone that you know, you never really know what can happen in baseball, and you just continue to work and continue to have fun and have fun where you're at, because enjoy the moment, because the next thing you know, you're going to be, you know, you could be in the big leagues, you could be in Houston, you could be playing in the World Series. So in Tri-City, it wasn't that long ago when you think Houston is far away, and that was in the summer of 2014. In the summer of 2017, I won World Series. I mean, it's pretty special.
Derek, I'm throwing you on the spot here a little bit. Carlos Beltran, your teammate, of course, just announced his retirement. And Mark Feinsand, who covers Major League Baseball, of course, the Yankees are looking for a manager. And anyway, Beltran was asked about whether or not he'd be interested in managing. So I'm hoping you can kind of shed some light on what his leadership qualities are, because Carlos's quote was, "At some point in my career, I'd love to have the opportunity to manage. The Yankees are a team that anyone would love to put on the uniform and manage that ball club." So from what you experienced being a teammate of Beltran's, what kind of guy is he in a leadership role?
In the shortest way possible. I mean, you said that Carlos said that anybody would like to manage and put on the New York Yankee uniform. I think anybody in baseball would want to have Carlos Beltran wearing the same jersey as they're wearing. I mean, he's the best. He's the absolute best. I mean, he's somebody that I watched as a kid growing up. He was one of my favorite players, and then to be in the same locker room as him is something I never would have even thought of happening. But I can sit here and talk for hours about the guy. I mean, he's one of the best influences in my career, and he's good for baseball, and I hope he doesn't leave it.
Hey, Derek, can you put in perspective for us what this meant to the city?
Everything. I mean, when we were gone in Anaheim, when Hurricane Harvey hit, we were hoping to get home, you know, as soon as we possibly could. We were just thinking we had a 3-game road trip, and it ended up turning into potentially 21. We were home for 2 games against the Mets, 3 days counting an off day. So we were able to go out and help on that Friday. And, you know, we wanted to play for the city, and we wanted to give them something to smile about. And we all went to, you know, different places that needed help to volunteer on the Friday. On Saturday, we had a doubleheader. On Sunday, we had a day game, and we were gone. So essentially, we had 1.5 days of baseball, and then we were gone again. So for us to be able to come home for that short amount of time, play the Mets, win, and we felt as if that we could help. And then as the city began to come back onto its feet, it just felt as if there was a little bit more people in the seats. It felt as if it was a little bit louder. It felt as if when we would walk through the streets, it felt like it was the vibe was a little bit different. And that could be obviously because of playoff baseball and it being the World Series, but we just wanted to be able to bring that city back on their feet, and winning a World Series, you know, I hope as if that it did. And they were a part of it as much as we were. And with as much as we tried to help, and as much as they pulled their attention to us, we really, you know, became a big family as everybody would hope that we did. And I felt as if that was a lot of fun for us. It brought a lot of smiles to the city of Houston, and I'm hoping that the World Series did just that.
And on that, a perfect way to say thank you, Derek, for a few minutes here. We certainly enjoyed watching you with the Valley Cats not that many years ago, and now here you are a few years later at age 24, and you got World Series champion attached to your name. We thank you for a few minutes here on Big Board Sports in Albany.
Great, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.